after watching the newly released Apple Vision Pro at Apple WWDC 23. I feel like the Vision Pro is far from what I expected. Why? First of all, don't be blinded by the cool CG and get excited too early. When the iPhone and MacBook Air were released that year, Jobs directly took out the products on the spot. There is no reason why Cook released such a revolutionary product without a live display. Especially when Cook found an empty auditorium cost Jobs. However, at the press conference, Cook did not pull out a Vision Pro from his crotch on the spot, nor did he put on the Vision Pro to introduce this product. It must not be because Cook didn't want to copy this scene, right? If there is no actual experience link in WWDC offline. Secondly, back to the product itself, the most troublesome thing about VR/Mr. devices is interaction, which is what I most hope that Apple can bring about changes. I have been expecting Apple to bring true 3D/XR interaction. But I think it's a bit conservative to Vision Pro. What is in front of you is not a large amount of three-dimensional content as imagined, but 2D screens floating in the air. This is the performance of Apple not getting rid of 2D graphics thinking. Is $3,500 to buy a multi-screen extender?
It is not surprising that it is a relatively common operation to use a single chip to process environmental perception, SLAM.
Spatial audio, you hear them as if they're right in front of you.
It is not surprising that it is a relatively common operation to use a single chip to process environmental perception, SLAM.
You can glance at a notification and even connect your Mac.
But in terms of hardware design, the stupid 2-hour battery life greatly reduces its usability. As for the urine bag hanging on the waist, anyone who has played the time travel machine knows how bad the experience is. It's easy to hang up when you pull a bunch of wires. It's better to hang up your head if it's a little heavier. Anyway, you can't use this device all day long. This is limited by the limits of current materials science, and Apple has no black magic. This is reflected in the fact that the scenes displayed by Apple are almost all sitting, quasi-sitting. On the one hand, it is limited by battery life, and on the other hand, it is also Apple's more conservative thinking. Apple currently does not expect users to use it as a portable tool of the next generation of mobile phones, and currently an Apple Display++. At least the current Vision Pro is not a replacement for the iPhone as everyone thinks. The scene Apple designed is to sit there with a few more big screens, watch movies, or 2D movies, and work as an extension screen processing point, that's all. This is why I said it is Display++, because almost everything Apple shows is based on a 2D window, maybe with a little stereoscopic effect.
And we designed a modular system, so you can find the right fit.
At least for now, it is reflected that Vision Pro is definitely not an iPhone, but a better-to-use, maybe less free, HoloLens or Quest 2. It's a $3,500 toy. One of my previous expectations was that the Apple XR could be used as a replacement for a Mac, but obviously Apple will definitely not give it side-loading. If there is side-loading, it can't really work like a computer. Of course you can't do it if you buy a Mac. I do have these functions, but for a product, this is still like a lame leg. It can't really be used as a computer independently, replacing a Mac, and it can't fly. At least there is no really attractive 3D content.
And hand movements. So when you're chatting, people see your eyes, hands, and true expressions.
Even if you add a function that you can pinch the 3D shape with your fingers and throw it to the printer, CNC, to make it directly, I will think that this thing is really an XR rather than an extended screen. XR content development has always been a long-standing problem. I know many people believe that as soon as Vision Pro goes on sale, there will be 114,514 developers doing everything right away to provide Apple with a rich software ecosystem. However, in contrast to PC VR for so many years, the only real needs are flight simulation games, very small, and racing cars. All VR games plus an escort masterpiece are rhythm lightsabers, Alex plus VR chat. If Apple itself can't give a real answer to XR content, just like selling Macs when it created Logic Pro and pulled Microsoft into Office, will Vision Pro magically
3D
gain a
mapping
huge
provides a
development
detailed
group as soon as it
understanding
goes on
of
the market? And rich content, so that users feel that the value of $3,499 is a question mark. Moreover, the current Mac application ecology is actually
However,
quite tragic.
in my current
In
opinion,
summary,
the
this
Vision
can't
Pro
be used,
is one
that
big
can't
toy.
be used, and it's not completely unusable. It can only be used to make do. In the first few years of the product lifecycle, I estimate that the user base of Vision Pro is probably less than that of Mac. How many developers can such a small number of users support? Can big companies spend a lot of time and energy adapting to the development of killer apps? I have
A
doubts
stunning
about
new
this.
way to use the apps we love.
The
A
hardware
powerful way
configuration
to
and algorithm
relive our
polishing of
memories.
Vision Pro are
A
undoubtedly the top
profound new
configuration
way
at present,
to be
killing
together.
all similar devices on the
And a
market in
magical
seconds.
way to be
Apple
immersed
also
in
gives a
entertainment.
completely different experience.
The era of spatial computing is here.
I
This
also hope that
is
when it is
Apple Vision
actually
Pro.
released next year, all the above will be slapped in the face, and Apple can really make the lifeless XR ecology come alive.